It is almost Christmas, so I thought it would be the perfect time to pull out my The Great British Bake Off Christmas cookbook and test out one of their recipes. This is actually going to be really cheap, and you most likely have all of the ingredients at home. Now, except the pine nuts. They say to use pine nuts, which I don't have, and it's also really expensive. Instead, I have this roasted hazelnuts from Amazon, and it is absolutely delicious. We'll need 50 grams of the nuts you have at home. Try this roasted nuts. I'll put a link down below. I want to show you this this little blender that I have. It's a little bit confusing to use, the setup. So the little chopping part, it has to be on your left side, and you have to hear this click when it closes. And when you put the top on, it will glide in. And then we have the chop or puree. And you're basically gonna turn it on with your finger. You see my thumb? Press it down, and that's how it turns on. I've had a few people ask me why theirs is not working. It's because when you close it, it has to be all the way there to the end, so it senses it that it's closed. But this is the best little blender you can have at home, and it's so easy to store. I just put the wires underneath, and it's done. Now I'm pulling out my KitchenAid. I'm not using a hand mixer today, so I can multitask the glass bowl. I did my research on the glass bowl, and the only problem people have is it breaks if you push it to the end too hard. So don't push it too hard. By my side, I have a little trash bag, so I can throw trash in there very quickly. We'll need 4 medium-sized eggs. The book actually does not say if it should be room temperature or cold. So mine is like kind of this and that. A little, most likely cold. Add 225 milliliters sunflower oil. I know it sounds a lot, but it's fine. And 175 grams of brown sugar and 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. We're using brown sugar because our cake, it has more of the golden brown color instead of like a yellow sponge cake that would use white sugar. Locked it in, turn it on medium. And I'm gonna get my carrots now. Of this, I'm gonna need 350 grams of carrots, which came out to 1 big and a few large. Over the bag, I'm gonna clean it using back and forth movement and rotating it at the same time. So that's how you properly use a peeler, back and forth when it's a vegetable like a carrot. But if you were doing a potato, might as well just do it on one side. And that's how you clean it very fast. Look at that, I'm done. I cut off the ends, and my mixer is just ready. You know, it's done when it's foamy. Perfect. Look at that. Wow. I'm gonna put that aside for now. And I need to shred my carrots on the small one. I probably should use a flat plate because I got a little messy, but it is what it is now. So you're just gonna do that, and it might take you a little bit. You could use a machine if you have at home, but I'm just too lazy to clean. A clean bowl. You need to get this sifter with the hand mix. I'm gonna put a link down below on Amazon because I did my research, and this specific one does not rust. If you find this one at, I don't know, maybe Walmart, it could be cheap and it could rust. Most likely it will. Okay, 300 grams of self-rising flour. What I like to do is put half of it, and then 1 teaspoon baking powder. And then the recipe says that we also need baking soda, which I do not have. In this case, which was perfect, I just added a little bit more baking powder. It's gonna be the same effect. And then 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and add the rest of the flour on top. And then I'm not gonna cut this part just so you can see how fast and easy this is done with the hand swirl thing. It has to be one of the best investment ever. Look at that, done. That was it, that was it. How quick was this? So quick. Ta-da! Alright, I'm just gonna put this on a little bit to wake everything up and make sure it's foamy. And what we're gonna do is add the flour in here in 3 batches and just gently fold it. If you're gonna start folding it like really fast, the flour is gonna be all over you. We don't want that, so just gently fold it in until most of the flour is blended, and then add your second batch. Again, fold, fold, fold a little bit more. That looks good. And then the last of the flour. We are going to bake this at in Celsius 180 Celsius, in Fahrenheit 350 for 35 to 40 minutes. But I'm going to show you one more thing that you need to have if you're planning to bake. Yeah, the recipe says 35 to 40 minutes. Mine was done at 30 minutes because my oven is very strong. But some ovens, older ovens, are a little bit weaker, so that's why it might take you a little bit longer, which is okay. It also really depends on if you have gas or electric. If you have gas, it's gonna bake super quick. It can also burn super quick. So we're gonna need all-purpose flour and just, the cheapest flour you have at home. And then 2 medium-sized cake pans, and butter it. Then put a spoonful of flour in it. If you see this box on Amazon, the flour box, do not buy it. It is not good. So what I like to do is, the bottom is easy, but the wall could be a little difficult. So what I like to do is tilt and let the flour slide while I rotate it. Add the excess to the other one and then repeat. If you still have some, just trash it. Do not need to put it back into the box or whatever you got the flour from. Okay, so we are pretty much done. This is the other thing that you must have in your kitchen, actually in the oven. You can either hang it or you can make a stand. I got this at Target, and I think it was like $5. It's a must-have. It will tell you the exact temperature your oven is. I'm dividing the batter in 2 equal sizes, and then the remaining, I'm just adding 1 spoon here and 1 spoon over there to make sure that my cake layers are equal size. And I love using this silicone spatula because it really cleans up everything. I let them sit for like almost a minute to flatten out, and then I bake them for 30 minutes. So the recipe says they use 400 grams of full fat cream cheese. So I measured it. It would have left me like 1 inch of cream cheese, so I use 2 whole cream cheese sticks. Then 50 milliliter heavy whipping cream and 75 gram icing sugar, powdered sugar. The cream cheese should be room temperature, that way it will mix up very easy and it's gonna be super, super creamy. It took me about 3 minutes. I want to make sure that all the cream cheese is dissolved with the whipping cream and it becomes like super smooth. And you guys, this recipe came out so good. I'm gonna be making this like all the time, but maybe with some different spices. Because yeah, it came out bomb. Technically you could use a spoon, but if you have a frosting spatula, use that one. Mine is silicone, so it kind of bends. I'm gonna add half of the cream cheese on here, and while spreading it out, I'm also gonna rotate the cake. What I've noticed when I eat cake is the middle part always has so much filling and the outside doesn't. Not enough. So what I do is I try to push it outside from the inside to go outside. You see that movement? To make it go on the edge, because the edge is more dry than the middle. The middle is usually the most moist in the sponge, so it needs the less frosting on it. It makes sense. And I hate it when the edge just has not enough frosting. So that's why I try to have more frosting on the edge. Top it with your second layer and add the remaining of the cream cheese frosting. Now this is whipped cream cheese, and ooh, it tastes so good. I honestly thought it was not too sweet. So it had a perfect balance with the carrots. And the recipe is called Rudolph's carrot cake, and you're supposed to put Rudolph's face decoration on top, which I knew it would have been really ugly if I didn't. So instead I used the hazelnuts to decorate it around, and I am not mad about it. I think it turned out super good. It's beautiful. It tastes so good. My neighbors loved it, took it to a Friendsgiving. No one showed up, so then I just started giving out slices to whoever was home. Let's get into it because I am very curious, and I'm sure you are too. Cuts very nicely. Yes, the edges are a little bit more crispy. It's okay. It's okay. Let's see. What does it look like? Ooh, suspense. Look at that. That looks store-bought. That's how good it looks. It looks like it was bought at a store. But it was homemade, and you basically have all the ingredients, and it's actually very cheap. I hope you like this video. Please give this recipe a try and enjoy.